show, I had a homegirl, right? I had a homegirl, and she had a really good job. She made over 100 figures, and of course, she was a black lady. She was worked in banking, and of course, she was the only black woman on her job. And I asked her. I did a survey. It was crazy, right? It's crazy because we did a survey. And in the survey, something came to my attention. What came to my attention in the survey? I asked her. I said, "How many men and women are in your group?" She said, "It's 4 women in her group, and it's 8 men in her group." Um, so I asked about who had kids, who was married, who was unmarried, and who was in long-term relationships. So it was crazy because out of the 4 women that she worked with, she said only one of them had kids. None of them were even in relationships. Only one of 4 even had a child, and 0 and 4 were in any form of relationship. And this was a San Francisco-based corporation. And all of these people, all the men and women, made over $100,000 there. Then I asked her about the dudes. I asked her about the dudes that she was working with. I say, "What about the dudes?" I say, "How many are in long-term relationships?" She was like, "Oh, all of them." I said, "All the guys are in long-term relationships, and none of the girls even have a dude at all?" She was like, "Yeah." I was like, "All right." I was like, "How many of the dudes are married?" She said 7 out of the 8 were married. I'm like, "Damn, that's almost 90%." So I said, 90% of the guys were married, and none of the women were married. I said, "Damn." I said, "How many were unmarried?" He said, "Well, it was only one guy that was there out of the 8 that wasn't married." I said, "Wow." I was like, "How many got kids?" She said, "Oh, half." I said, "So 4 out of the 8 got kids." So it was trippy. It really was trippy. Right? And as I'm saying this to her, I'm in awe. Like, so all of these women are making over $100,000, but ain't none of y'all got no dudes. Short term, long term. Hell, I think at the time, I think she had been without sex in over a year. She hadn't been on a date in like 5 years. Come on, this is somebody I knew. And I couldn't be friends with her no more because I couldn't tell her the truth. I couldn't be her friend. I was trying to be her friend, but I was like, I was asking her. I was like, "Do you want to be in a relationship?" She was like, "Yeah, I want kids." I was like, "But you 39 and you never really had a real relationship." I was like, "How would you?" She was like, I was like, "Okay, well, what do you do to meet guys?" She was like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "What do you do to meet guys?" She said, "I don't do nothing." I said, "What do you mean?" I said, "You don't put yourself in a place to be found by a good man." She said, "No." She said, "If you look for a man, you won't find it." I said, "Why did you think that?" Because that's how it works. You're not supposed to look for a relationship. I said, "What the fuck?" I was trying to be subjective, but then I was trying to tell her like she's not an unattractive lady, but she's not a dime piece. She's not a dime piece. She's not overweight. She's kind of thick, but she can't cook at all. She's messy. Her car is super duper messy. She's not funny. I mean, she's fun. Like she's easy to make. It's easy to make her laugh, but she's not really funny. And outside of the corporate world, she has no hobbies, just drinking and traveling. But I don't know. I just I was trying to understand. Then I told her, I said, "What would you do to get a good job?" She said, "I would fix my resume. I would get more experience." I said, "So you would fix your resume to get more experience to get a better job, but you won't do nothing to get a better man?" Crazy.